Morning everyone, hope everyone's good. Very excited this morning, have a great few things to show you that I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for subscribing and liking and commenting, because I really enjoy actually answering your comments. And yeah, welcome to everyone that's new. All right, down to the table. You'll watch my hands now. Okay, so I told you I was going to show you a little bit of Chinese writing, which is I want to incorporate into the book. And I'm only doing one word at a time. And if you like that, or yeah, I'm also doing different languages. So, but today, the first one I'm going to do is Chinese. And it looks like this, yeah. I practiced it a few different times. And, you know, I suppose practice makes perfect. I have a few different brushes. I like to use the bullet marker, or even anything in a marker first, and just have a practice with the actual strokes on a scrap piece of paper. And then I have different pieces. So it's a pretty simple one, and obviously the brush gives a better effect. I'm not really following the instructions. They do horizontal, then vertical. And I was trying to sort of follow that, but I decided that would be just a little bit too intense. So when they write, they do all the horizontal ones first, and then the vertical, which I found quite difficult, but I'm sure that if you got into the habit of it, it would be really simple. So this is confidence. Now my actual handwriting is pretty terrible, you know, as you can see, confident. C-O-N-F-I-D-E-N-T. I mean, if I was going to write it, I probably would print it in English. I probably would print it on the computer, because my handwriting is not very nice at all. But oddly, in other scripts, it's fine. Okay, so the first thing I was going to do today was actually organize some papers to have a bit of a practice on. Now, this is a sculptural medium of have I got the Sculptural Paste? It's thick gesso, and it has a tiny bit of plaster of Paris in it, and it leaves a really lovely texture, thick texture on paper. You can stencil with it, and I'm sure in one of my videos I have got the measurements and so forth of that, but there's probably a million of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to prep some papers, and these papers are going to be used for writing some script on. So these, remember, these ones were ones I played when we were using the jelly print, the jelly plate. When I made these all when I was using the jelly plate. So we're just going to add, so either this white thicker sculptural medium, which, as I say, really is just a gesso, thick gesso and plaster of Paris. Some people add glue to it, but you know, it's not going to move. It's only in a journal. In the end, it's for your personal inspiration, not for sale. So, and also great fun, you know. So play with it, create, and leave those to dry. So I'm just doing those few pages. just reusing also all of the things that you have already started in this. So I think that might be enough of those. So that we don't have leftover, you know, we don't need leftover for this particular project because we will be moving on. Now, we could also, you could just use plain paint and leave that to dry, same way. You could put that straight onto the pages themselves, but I kind of like doing it on here just so that I've got choice, you know. So on the collage, you know, you actually have choice where what you're putting down. Anyway, clean your brush off, clean your, not a brush, clean the spatula off. Righto. So you've got a few pages, you've got white. Now, you could make it black, you could make it red, you could do anything like that. With the black, red and white, that's my colours. So I'll leave those ones to dry for the moment. Just cut that off there. Because I am eventually going to do ink work or some sort of work on them. We're going to work with confidence because I have this word translated into, even though I think I like confident better, but anyway, I'll do it in my own way. And I am going to just do it on white paper. If I can find some, here we go. And I am going to put this up on Judy Armstrong's group on Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to just pop this up. So confidence in Chinese. So I'm just going to go really simply, which is with all the lines. Okay, so basically and I'm using just a whiteboard marker actually, with a chiseled edge because it has that, you know, that point. And but I am going to use ink. So it's a bit of a practice. And so before I move on to doing it on one of these dried pieces and have a bit of a play, also I've done a few pages in my little books that I make of red and white on just some old papers, some antique papers that are in here. So they're drying too. I do have numerous things to try. I'm going to use pigment ink, which is a beautiful crimson colour that my sister bought me. I am going to use some burnt sienna just because it is that reddy, you know, reddy brown but still red. I'm going to use this gorgeous high flow acrylic from Wholecraft. It's a sensational red, high flow red, light, fast and everything. And I'm also going to use some alcohol ink. All right, so those are the things I'm going to play with, other than, of course, ink, black ink. So I'm going to organize that. I have some markers. I have a silver one and a gold one that I thought we could play with too. So basically, I'm just going to write this word over and over again in Chinese and just get it to look like what I want it to look like. So no matter whether it doesn't say confidence correctly, it does to me. It's a personal confidence, okay? So it's your artistic confidence. So it is what it is. Now, I will tell you that I want to, and I will just show you. I'm going to write this 4 different times. One is in Hindi, one is in Cantonese, one is in Thai, and one is in Arabic. I'm actually going to do five of these, and they all mean confidence in different languages. And I love all of these different scripts. So during the weeks ahead, I will be doing these also in that word, just so the book is mine in different languages and I know what it says. Of course, also you may write it in English naturally. Yeah. All right. So let me get my ink. Oh, and I've got an ink pen that I bought in Japan that I found inside when I was working. Beautiful little ink pen, and I know I bought it in Japan, but I really couldn't even tell you. It's got a beautiful nib on it. I couldn't tell you where I bought it though. So we're gonna use it to do it again. And I understand that there is a way to write Chinese. There is a correct way, and I'm probably not doing it. But in all honesty, as I said, I just want it to be my interpretation. Now the thing is, you can actually go back to, if you don't want it to look like that, change it a little bit. Remember, it's your symbol. All right, so that's it. White paper, quite large. Obviously, you can do smaller versions of it, and you can just practice it until you're happy with the design of it. Now, it changes when you change a brush too. Obviously, you can play with different things. Let's just see. We'll just use a piece of this white paper. Now I'm just going to use this pigment ink, Crimson. Okay, I'll just do a small one. Okay. Oh, they're cute. I like that. So it's becoming my own, really, isn't it? Yeah. I'll just cut that off. So this is just where sandwich paper, you know, wax paper. I love the translucency of the wax paper. You could do it on tissue paper, but that will be a different effect too, especially with the pigments, because if they're an absorbent paper, this is not so absorbent because it is kind of got that wax. So it sits for a bit longer. This is also a pigment ink. How red this one is though. Might be, and it's far more brown, isn't it? That's okay. All right, looks red. Looks a little bit redder in the oh, mind you, I haven't really mixed it up properly. All right, well, maybe I'll give that one a miss, because that's a bit brown, even though I know I do have some browns in the... All right, so I'm going to use this high flow acrylic. Now, with these high flows, when they're in bottles, you'll notice that there's a little metal ball in there that mixes it, because you've got to mix them really well. When I'm playing with these in particular, you kind of have to be fast. There's no hesitation. that's too much, you can turn down the flow. You kind of got to get it so that it flows out at the right speed. Now, obviously, this is a practice. So that's on the wax paper, and that I'll just let that dry. I'll probably print over the top of it. Let's do it on just the old paper. Feel like if that was on, if I had that down right, I would be able to do that. I think it just needs to be a little bit bigger. Big. All right, confidence. I'm taking the confidence of just doing it. So you can, yeah, turn the knob and it will actually alter the flow, which is fabulous. But you do have to practice before you do it on your artwork, or you use these pieces of paper just to do it so that you can collage them on later much simpler, I think. So what else are we going to do? We're going to do alcohol ink. I don't know about the alcohol ink. I think that the alcohol ink might go on the wax paper too. We'll get some. Alcohol ink is kind of a bit so I'll do this one, and then I'm just going to let the rest dry up while we move on to other things. All right, so you've got big, so this runs really quite rapidly, so that is definitely not going to work. Let's see, it runs out way too fast. But on the other hand, I will just keep that, and I will create some marks like so for a later date. So there's no control on that one. You do have control over the pigment ink, not so much over the alcohol ink, and you do have control on that, and you also have obviously control over pens and so forth. So silver and gold are pretty much the same as the black. All right, now. Okay, so I've got these pages that I printed out with different languages that mean confidence. And I just love all these different ways of writing one word, you know. A lot of them have confidence, trust, faith, reliability, reliance. They all kind of mean the same thing. So because we're working with black and white and red, I decided that as I said before, I will put these up on Judy Armstrong Studio on Facebook, and you can just download them. You can practice whichever ones you like in red, black, white, black paper. I'm going to get some black paper and do some red on it. But for today, so they're up there, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to utilize some of the ones that I've already done, and also just on these couple of pages that we're working on at the moment. I can't remember now which ones we're working on and which ones we're not working on, but I'll just take these 3 pages. So these ones I've done the lines and made things stand out, and all I want to do now is actually add in, I just want to add in some sort of writing that says confidence, okay? So, and you're going to be confident about the fact that you're actually just going to get the glue stick and glue down one of these. Now, I'm also going to just rip this up. This is a piece of paper. This book is just an old book. It is nothing special. It is just a play. It is just something that in the end may work or may not work. If you don't like it, you can take out that page. You can throw it in the bin. You can do whatever you like with it, you know. It's just a practice, just a play. It doesn't have to take long. It doesn't have to be something you keep. If you're anything like me, of course you keep it because you put hours of work into it and it means something to you. But I would like you to have the confidence just to lay down and lay down a word on each page. Now, whether they be white, whether they be red, whether they be huge, small, you know, like whatever they might be, whether you rip them all up and just glue down, you are still going to do a couple more things, but not very much more. We are going to do some script and maybe a solid colour, you know, of like opposite. So maybe there might be a solid red piece going to go on here, whether it be a circle or a square. On here, this is very, 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 very large. I don't know that that suits that, but I will find one that does. So all of the pieces that I've made today and all of the pieces that you are going to make in the future, like your little plays during the week of these symbols, whether it's the Chinese confident, the Chinese confidence, or another language that you really, really are drawn to from the pages that I'm putting up. That was good. This is still wet. Oh, and the dog has decided to go off tap. I'm thinking that's going to go there. Now, I'm saying to put confidence on each page. You could write, you could be very confident with what you're using and which medium you're using and just write confidence. You could put white down and actually just write confidence. You could, anything that you like that seems to be, you know, what it feels, what feels right. Whatever feels right, just do it, okay? Don't hesitate. I'm going to wait till that dries up a bit, but I am going to put it down there. But I will just glue down this one, okay? So, confidence. This says confidence. So, I'm going to be confident about the fact that I'm actually just going to whack it down there, like so. Remembering, of course, that this particular page this is the page. You're only going to see this amount of the page. So it's quite busy. It's got some beautiful gold. Now, I probably am going to get some white pearl and go round the edge of that. I also have some gold foil, of course, that you can bring in. Gold foil from Ferrero Rochers, you know, that I've used before. I've also got the gold Ferrero Rochers that I've printed on, jelly printed on. You could bring in some of that, you know, if there was something you wanted to bring in before you went further? Is there, did you want it, you know, you could bring in some of that. So let's just work on one page. So you could do white down here with some light fast flow acrylic, or you could use red. And I'm thinking it's going to be red, and I'm just going to do some, because we've got the red here. Oh, actually I might do some pigment. There you go. I'm just going to do some intuitive scripting. I'm just going to have a bit of a get a bit of a flow going first on that scrap piece of side there, and then I am going to I'm not going to do anything to that side. I am going to glue this down though here, and I just feel like I want to put some sort of gold there. It's going to be a bit still very busy, aren't they? I am trying so hard not to be busy. Maybe I'll just cut this out a little bit more so there's not quite as much paper on it. Needs something, but I'm not sure what. Maybe I might just do script down there. Okay, so gluing on here, I'm just going to put some glue. This is actually a little bit wet, but you know, still on camera. So I will just do it. And I will push it down. And then if it takes any off, well then okay. And what I think I'm going to do on this page, well these two pages, is I'm going to do some black ink work down there. Oh, I could just use my brush. Not quite as intense as the other one. Just glue that down. So difficult when you're only using such a minimal palette. I'm finding it difficult using a minimal palette, you know. Okay, so I'm going to leave those, although, you know, I do feel this one here just needs some gold. Maybe there. Uneven gold or gold. Need some gold, and I don't. Hang on, I've got gold paint here. I think it's reflecting though off the other page. Do you know what I mean? But it does need something down here, gold. Because I feel like it needs gold, you know? I feel like it needs to have a gold piece down there. Some significant gold. Okay. That is the bit that I'm actually going to glue onto this. I'm just going to straighten it out a bit so that the glue attaches to the foil a little bit better. I do have a few pages underneath there. I like the crinkled work of the Ferrero Rocher. Alright, I'm not going to do any more to those. I've got the scripting on and I've got some gold. Now you can see, so that page is that one. And I think that I'm going to leave that. I don't know whether I'm going to do any more. It's very, yeah, I'm trying to go simple. As you know, I'm not. I'm very, very busy normally. And that's one there. And, I mean, you know, that's those 2 pages. So I'm just going to do that to all of these very, very busy pages that we've done already. I am going to put confidence on them in some language somewhere along the way. I'm going to be very confident about the fact that I'm going to do that. All right, so that is what you need to do this week. So you can add any gold pieces, plain, textured. But I would like to see in any language or in all the languages, you know. I mean, you print them out, you might as well, you know, utilize all of the languages to be on the page. It says confidence, so you should just be confident in doing that, you know, and whacking it on and just seeing, just having a play, really. Does that fit? Does that look better? Does it look better, you know, up here in this bit here? Like, just have a play, have some fun. Spend an hour. Spend an hour with all the different confidences in the wording and have a play with it. All right. You enjoy yourself. I will show you what I've come up with on my 3 pages, which is actually 6 pages, obviously, because they have a back and a front, and which is one of the signatures all done by the end of this week. And I will see you when we get back. All right. Thanks for watching.